I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the anime Demon Slayer, right? Well, I have a few questions specifically about the Hashira training arc and about Kagaya's death in the anime. So, if you haven't caught up with it, um there is spoilers, by the way. So, I'd suggest catching up before watching this. Anyways, so my main I have a few questions. Three main questions, to be specific. Number one. So, actually, we all know that in the Hashira training arc, on the eighth episode, I believe, yeah, in the eighth episode, I believe, Muzan, Kagaya, my bad. Kagaya says to Guillaume, and he says this: in 5 days, I know that Muzan will come after me. And it is then when I will use myself as bait to try to weaken him. And I want you to tell nobody about this, because I know that they will not agree to this. And after Kagaya says that, Guillaume says, "Okay, whatever you wish, let it be done." And so after that, that's when Muzan comes in, talks with Kagaya for a little bit, and Kagaya's like, "F off." And so, and so Muzan gets angry, and then Kagaya just blows up his own mansion. That's where my three questions come in. First of all, how did he get the dynamite to be underneath his mansion? Second of all, when did he do it? And third is, I guess it's just mainly those two questions. But if I have more, I'll bring it up. Anyways. So, here is some knowledge about Kagaya that I'm not sure a lot of people know if they haven't seen the Hashira training arc yet. So, Kagaya, when Guillaume talks with Tanjiro and explains his background, Guillaume says he was the leader of a temple with a kid named Kaigaku. And if you've seen the Infinity Castle arc, then you will know who Kaigaku is. But anyways, and so Guillaume is like, "Yeah, I had a bunch of these children, but Kaigaku ran away, and he and apparently a demon had attacked us, and so I punched the demon to death until sunrise. Well, actually, he punched the demon for I don't know how long straight until the sun came and until the sun rose and killed the demon, and he was then charged for murder for the children, which the demon had killed. And so it was then um when Kagaya, or I should say Mr. Ubuyashiki, that was when Guillaume met Mr. Ubuyashiki and was freed by Mr. Ubuyashiki. And so Mr. Ubuyashiki says, "Don't worry, it's not your fault." And Guillaume's like, man, I needed to hear that. And so, you know what the strange part is? Is that at that time, Guillaume was 18 and Kagaya was only 14. And Kagaya was the head of the Ubuyashiki mansion at that time. And lo and behold, he was also married at that time. Wish I had that kind of luck. Anyways, so then 9 years later, we are at the end of the Hashira training arc, and Kagaya blows up his mansion. Kagaya was 23. Guillaume is now 27. And so, I'm wondering, within that 9 year span of Kagaya meeting Guillaume for the first time, and from Kagaya dying, whether or not if Kagaya had gotten his own mansion, or if he built it himself, then my next question was, if he built it himself, when did he know to put the dynamite underneath his own mansion? Because from what the anime says, is that it was 5 days prior to the explosion when Kagaya was talking with Guillaume and Kagaya said, Muzan will come after me. The anime says that it was 5 days prior to that. But it doesn't add up. Because if you're building a mansion for yourself and you get an insight 5 days before your enemy arrives to, plant dynamite, set up a trap and whatnot, directly underneath your house, first of all, how did you do it? Or how would you do it? And my second question would be, when would you do it? Because Kagaya, when he was talking to Guillaume 5 days prior to the explosion, he was incapacitated, meaning he couldn't walk, he couldn't see, he couldn't even crawl, and he barely heard anything. The only thing he could do was that he could speak, and that's it. And so I'm wondering whether or not if he had known about Muzan's arrival way before that, when he was still able to move, to walk, to to have the strength to carry things around, and to even see. And how long ago was it at that time? And if he had inherited the mansion from someone else, how did he get the dynamite underneath the building and whatnot? So it's just mainly three main things. First of all, did Kagaya get his mansion inherited, or did he build it? Second was, when did he place the dynamite underneath the building? And third question is, how? So if you are a part of the Demon Slayer wiki fandom, or if you would like to do some extra research on this, please let me know in the comments, because this is something I would like to know more about. And if somebody could ask the anime creator Koyaharu Gotoge, I would also like some information from them. And yeah, okay, bye.